17th step. Enjoining God's good company and praying to Him. If He takes you away from people, then know that He is opening to you the doors of His company, and if He allows you to ask, then know that He wants to give you something. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. These words of wisdom are another example related to understanding God's giving and depriving. The Sheikh says, if He takes you away from people, then know that He is opening to you the doors of His company. Sometimes, God may test us with the death of a spouse, a brother, or a dear person. We might find ourselves travelling to a remote country for one reason or another. We might find ourselves in jail, God forbid, or suddenly alone in a hospital. In all these cases, we may feel lonely and isolated, yet this could be another step in our journey to God. The Sheikh makes it clear that all such trials might be gifts from God in the form of trials. There are unconfirmed reports in which the Prophet says, if God wishes to benefit a person, He will take him away from people. The meaning of this hadith might be true in light of the wisdom discussed here. When you feel lonely, God is opening a door of uninterrupted remembrance and meditation. Being in His company is something that you might not be able to feel if you are a person who mixes with people all the time, day and night. You might think that isolation is a trial, whereas in reality, it is a gift. One of my teachers often recalls some stages of his life which he spent in jail and says, if it were not for that jail, I would not have written most of my books or developed most of my ideas. Thus, imprisonment and loneliness were a reason for being in God's company and benefiting people with His knowledge. This is a gift. Then the Sheikh says, and if He allows you to ask, then know that He wants to give you something. This means that God may test you with something so difficult that there is no solution except to pray to God. Perhaps before the time of trial, you did not pray sincerely enough to God. You might have thought that you were not in need of prayer or distress. Yet, when a serious crisis comes, and the only solution is God's help, then prayers are much deeper and more sincere. Quran, Surah 27, Ayah 62. Who is it that responds to the distressed when He calls out to Him? Praying to God may continue for days or weeks without an apparent end to your trials. This could be another precious gift from God, not because of your deprivation, but because of your continuous state of worship. The Prophet ﷺ said, supplication is the true worship. But the Sheikh says, and if He allows you to ask, then know that He wants to give you something. God gives abundant rewards just for praying to Him. Not only that, but He answers those who pray to Him, either in this world or the next, or both. Therefore God allows us to ask, because He wants to give us something. If you ask a generous person for help, surely He will answer you. What about if you ask God Himself? Deprivation and giving should not be measured by human standards, which are based on material gains. The true standard is our relation with God. Sometimes God puts you to a test, and after God removes the affliction, your relation with Him improves. This is in itself a gift from God.